Hi, I'm Barguirdjian and welcome to your yoga class with me today. If you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to do so and click on the subscription button here below. And if you'd like a bit more support from me, then do consider becoming a patron. All the details for that are in the comment section below here as well. We're going to be doing a short class today, focusing mostly on seated poses. You're going to need a towel or a blanket, which is going to help you sit. You're going to put that underneath your sitting bones in order to prop yourself up. Now, seated poses you might think are going to be relatively easy compared to standing poses, but actually when you're sitting like this, you're parking your pelvis, so you're not able to move around with such fluidity as when you're standing. So we're going to do some standing poses first in order to get you moving through a nice full range of motion, kind of oiling up the hips and the lower back, to then come down to sit with a little more success and depth and ease. So I want you to start by standing up. So bring your hands to the floor. If you haven't already, come all the way up and widen your feet. Parallel your feet. Bring your hands to your hips. Get nice and tall, get lots of length in the front body here. And fold forward, bringing your fingers right underneath your shoulders here. So this is the first stage of Prasarita Padottanasana. Raise your chest, raise your chin, and raise your sitting bones. So you've lengthened the front body here. It kind of feels like you're doing a back bend. Then to the second stage, walk your hands back so your fingernails and toenails line up and round your back down. Possibly the heels of your hands are pressing down. If you're very flexible here, the crown of your head might be on the floor. If it is, move your feet a little closer to each other so you've got something to work with. Now raise your chest, come back to the first position. Look at your right foot and then turn your right toes to the front of your mat as you walk your hands to either side of that foot. Pick up your back heel and bring that left knee, that back knee down. Press your front foot towards your back knee. Keep your fingers on the floor the whole time. Raise your chest. Look forwards. And keep pressing your front foot to your back knee and your back knee forwards. Squeeze your bottom. Now look down. Pick up your back knee. Straighten your back leg. And come to the other side. So bring your your right hand inside that foot. Walk your hands so that they're now to the outside of your left foot. Bring your back knee down. Again, play with that bending of the front knee a little bit more. Move your right hip point forward. It's getting a little bit of stretch on the outside of the left hip here and the front of the right hip. Pick up your back knee, straighten that leg. And again, walk your hands, this time stopping here in the center, back to the first stage of Prasarita Padottanasana. Lift up your chin. As you exhale, walk your hands back and again fold forward. Now come back to the first stage again. Raise your head, walk your hands ahead of you. And come into a twist. So bring your right hand flat, right underneath your nose. Left arm out to the side. Come all the way up. With that left hand reaching up to the ceiling. Then change sides, left hand down where the right hand is now picking up, and reach that right hand up to the ceiling. Really push the left hand down, twist a little more, bring the left ribs around, the right ribs up. Look down, touch down with the right hand, and now we sit. So bend your knees, bring your knees one by one to the floor. Sit into Vajrasana. We're going to open up the shoulders a little bit. So interlace your hands behind your back. Press your knuckles down to the floor. Raise your heart and fold forwards. Now your forehead does not have to come to the floor here. Pick your hands up as high as you can. Press your knees towards each other. Push your feet down. Inhale, bring your body up again. And change the interlace of your fingers here. So kind of like you're weaving your fingers the other way, so the other thumb is on top. Raise your chest, bring your hands up, and one more time. Squeeze your knees towards each other, bring your navel up to your spine, fold forwards.
Push your feet down, inhale, come up.
Release your hands. Good. Now, from here, park your bottom down and widen your legs. Then reach for your towel. So you're going to prop yourself up a little bit here. Make sure that your towel is folded well. And that, see, mine's a bit messy here, so it's worth spending the time to get the creases nice and even. Then you're going to sit on the forward fold, the front fold of your towel, just sitting slightly forward of it. So your sitting bones are propped up, but you're not completely sitting back on your towel. Then, with your legs as wide as you can reach them, release that a little bit, about 10%, so you're not completely wide. And press the backs of your legs down to the floor, so you're minimizing the gaps. Bring your hands to the floor behind you. And your Vista Konasana, get lots of length in the front body here. Stay with your hands on the floor behind you, or bring your hands forward, possibly coming a little bit more. Moving your chest forward, but not only the chest, moving the back body from your tailbone to the back of your heart, to the back of your head, a little bit more forward as you look down. Please don't feel like you have got to come all the way down with your chest. This is all about just opening up and lengthening carefully, safely, therapeutically, the inner thighs, the backs of the legs. As you squeeze your thighs, check that your knees and your toes are pointing up. Park your hands down. Slightly drag your hands back towards you if you want a little more depth, or push your hands forward if you want to come up with your chest a little higher. Couple more breaths here. And do try and make your breathing nice and deep and slow and even. Now, as you inhale, come all the way up. We're going to stay in this leg position here, but we're going to slightly change the towel. So look at your right leg and then move the towel from underneath the right buttock. So it's like you're sitting on the corner, sort of triangular piece with your left leg. Your left sitting bone is being propped up, but the right is on the floor. Pick your hands up, twist towards your right foot, bring your hands down. Inhale here, and as you exhale again, you're experimenting with the possibility of lengthening your rib cage away from your pelvis and coming down. And as you do this, slightly pull that right leg in towards your body, like you're plugging it back. Possibly come forward a little bit more. And you can, this front hand, this left hand, slightly drag it back as you push the right hand slightly forward, and that will help you to turn your rib cage a little bit more into the twist. You might find that your foot doesn't look too far away, so possibly as you inhale, really raise your chest up, lift up the lower belly. You might find that you can hold on to the foot. If you can't, don't worry, it's still there. You just keep your hands on the floor or even grab your shin. If you have got the foot, raise your elbows so you can broaden your collarbones. Now as you inhale, come up. Bring your hands to the floor if they were not on it, they were on your foot. And then change the towel, so it's now propping up your right sitting bone. Look at your left foot, turn towards it, bring your hands down. Stay upright or possibly come forward a little bit more. Again, with that assistance from your hands, drag your right foot back, your left hand forwards, so you get a little bit more of a twist here. And possibly coming that little bit further, inhale, raise your chest, lift up your lower body, your lower belly away from your thighs, and then possibly come forward a little bit more, raising your elbows. Try and soften the backs of your legs as you try and maintain that squeezing of the quadricep muscles. Don't worry about how deeply you come into this pose. This is one of those poses that really brings out the I should be able to, or I used to be able to, why can't I now self-talk. Just use this pose to lengthen, find a little more space in your lower back. Inhale and come up. Walk your hands back. And then completely take away the towel now. If you want, if you do feel like you still need it, bring it to underneath both of your sitting bones for Vista Konasana. So if you know that this pose, for Backbend Konasana, if you know that this pose is challenging and you feel like you're moving back, then use the towel as a little wedge to prop yourself up. Otherwise, take it away. And bring your hands underneath the little toe edges of your feet. Arms straight. Press your feet into your hands. Raise your heart up. And from here, squeeze your bottom a little bit to help you bring a little bit more length into the inner thighs and your knees a little further away from each other. And again, you can take this a little further if you want by coming forwards. You can press your elbows into your inner thighs or perhaps to the fronts of your shins and maybe come down that little bit more. Keep squeezing your bottom a little bit here to help with the lengthening of the inner thighs. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. Now as you inhale, come up and bring your knees up. Now, from here, come up into a high kneeling position. We're going to do Gomukhasana legs here. Bring your hands down to the floor. Pick up your right leg and bring it to the outside, bring the knee to the outside of your left knee and separate your feet. And slowly walk your hands back. Now, you can reach around again here for your blanket if you know that this pose already is quite challenging for you. I should have set that up better before. And put it in between your feet so that you can then sit down back onto your prop. So manage that, and if you find that that's not enough, you can get your block. And sit in between your ankles as you press your feet down. Bring both of your hands onto this top knee, your left knee. Keep blading down with your feet. Stay upright like this, or again, the forward fold is possibly there for you. Bring your hands to the floor. And every time you inhale, get a little bit more length. Lift your belly up away from your legs and possibly drape down that little bit more as you exhale. 2 more deep breaths here. Breathe in really deeply and exhale slowly and smoothly. On your next inhalation, come all the way up. Lean back a little bit here towards the right. Pick up your legs and come back up into that high kneeling position, back into Stambasana. Bring your hands back down to the floor. So we're coming into this pose, this side exactly the same way as the other side. Pick up the left leg, nudge it to the outside of the right. Separate your feet, walk your hands back. I quite like to lift up this front upper calf muscle here as well, up towards the ceiling. Check that your prop is there for you if you need it to sit on. If you don't need it, don't use it. Press your feet down. Get nice and tall here. And bring your hands possibly down ahead of you. Otherwise, just keep them on your knees and fold forwards. Remember, every inhalation, you're bringing energy, prana, into your body to nourish every cell. So breathe in really deeply for that to happen as efficiently and effectively as possible. And each time you exhale, you're breathing out whatever isn't needed, not only from each cell and your body, but also think of this as exhaling all you don't need, exhaling tension, stress, worry, breathing in the good and breathing out what doesn't serve you. If you are folded forward, come up now, push your hands down. Lean back a little over to the left so you can pick up this first leg and then straighten both of your legs. And again, you can sit on the blanket or sit onto the floor. Bend both of your knees, separate your feet a little bit here, raise your belly. You can even use your hands to pick your belly up and then drape yourself over your thighs as you grab the little toe edges of your feet. Raise your chest up again. Now stay here. We're doing a variation of Paschimottanasana here. Or possibly move your heels a little bit more forward. And if your heels are on the sticky mat, you need to do it probably one by one. Raise your chest again. And as long as your belly and your thighs are in contact with each other, possibly come down a little bit more. Keep pushing the heels forward. And when you find that point where you start to lift up your belly away from your thighs, then pause there. You don't have to come down far. And round your back. Let your head rest. Try and keep your neck in line with the rest of your spine. So if you're upright, then just keep looking forward. But if you're folding forward, then look down and experiment with possibly coming a little deeper into the stretch as you move your toes towards your head. Feet apart is a really good way to do this pose. It makes it a little more accessible. Now to come out of this, raise your head, firm your abs a lot, walk your hands back. Good. Now we're going to do a twisting back bend. So sweep both of your legs over to the left for Vajrasana. Bring the front of the top shin, this left shin, into the sole of the right foot. Try and sit as much as you can on the floor, but this hip will be up. Bring your right hand onto the floor behind you. Bring the back of your left hand around the outside of your right thigh. Press in and twist. Twisting towards your right. Keep drawing your right shoulder, the back shoulder back. Pressing the bottom tip of your shoulder blade into the back of your heart. Raise the base of your breastbone up. And put a little bit more weight and release into your left hip. Slightly lower your chin here. Now coming to the other side, release both of your hands, turn your chest back to center, and just go straight to the other side. Move your feet to the right. Again, you're putting the front of this right ankle into the arch of the bottom foot. Turn towards your left. Bring your left hand onto the floor behind you. Back of your right hand around the outside of this left thigh and twist. Keep pressing your right ribs in and move your left shoulder back to help increase this. It's a really nice, slightly back bending twist here. Release the right hip. Slightly lower your chin. Breathe deeply. And take your hands away. Come back to Vajrasana, back to center. Bring your hands to your legs. We're going to stay here for 1 minute in a formal meditation. So look down at the floor a couple of meters ahead of you. Rest your eyes on that spot. If you're comfortable to close your eyes, then do. Relax your shoulders. And come into honing your focus to your breath. Notice every inhalation and exhalation as they naturally enter and leave your body. When your mind wanders away, which it inevitably will do, catch those thoughts and bring your attention back to following your breath. I'm going to sit here for 1 minute from now. Just follow your breath. Keep catching your attention as it wanders and bring it back to observing your breathing. Now make your way into Shavasana. So open your eyes enough and move your body into corpse pose with as fewer moves as you can. Least disturbance of your energy body. Little adjustments here. Pressing your elbows down, draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Make sure that your feet are an equal distance apart from the center line of your body as your arms as well. Close your eyes. And again, 1 minute here. This time, no focus, just relax. Soften your body and let go. Now bend your knees one by one, bringing the soles of your feet to the floor. And roll over onto your right side. Pause here just for a few moments. Cradle your head in your upper right arm, or just leave your head on the floor. Press your left hand down, then your right, to assist yourself up to sit. Sit cross-legged. Bring your hands into your heart and close your eyes. Release your hands and bring them down to your legs. Raise your chin. Open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope to see you again soon.